Morning, popping on for us to talk about what sets you apart. So, I am very excited about this week. I know that this is going to be an amazing week where we're going to learn such awesome things if we choose to have eyes to see and ears to hear. If you've not yet met, you're going, wow, she's getting philosophical. Hi, my name is Lydia, and I'm all about empowering women to show up in their lives fully and on purpose and to do so unapologetically. So, when we're talking about this idea of figuring out what sets you apart, it's realizing that each and every one of us has a specific and unique purpose that we are here right now on this planet. And many times we can easily get caught in thinking about just the things that are right in front of us. I need to get work done. I need to make sure the kids are alive and well fed. I need to get this assignment done. I need to run this errand. I need to do the things. We can focus on things like to-do lists. We can focus on things like how are we going to schedule out our time and get all the things done, and very easily lose sight of the bigger picture. So it's no different than, for example, being in the backyard when you were a kid and you're just playing and you're focused on your one thing and you're super focused on your one thing. It is wonderful that you are focused on your one thing, but you're missing out on other things that are happening around you. Does that mean that you then need to be all over the place? No. But recognize that when we get into I call it autopilot, or when we get into cruise control with how we do life, we're just focused on doing the thing, focused on doing the thing. We can forget that we're here with a purpose. And so finding out what sets us apart is a huge part of that process. Here are a few things to consider with figuring out what sets you apart. I loved going through this process a little bit with some ladies in the Spark process. This was a live workshop we did last week. It was phenomenal. And what I loved was that each and every one of us, each of these individuals came to a situation in their lives, and it's the same for you, where the way you chose to respond speaks to the kind of person that you are. And it speaks even to what's unique about you. Okay. So, one of the steps you can use with figuring out what sets you apart is to think about the most exciting and amazing thing that's ever happened to you. Okay. We're going to focus on the mountaintop for a moment. Okay. Focus on and think about what is one experience you've had that was absolutely phenomenal. And as you're thinking about that particular event, ask yourself, what is it about this event that sets it apart from all the other events I've ever experienced? Why was this one so special? And as you're answering that question of why it was special, continue to go deeper to understand and connect to how you felt in that situation, how you felt in that moment, and why, in particular, that spoke very deeply to you. Then do that same process again. And now, instead of thinking about this really amazing moment, think about a very trying moment, one that you weren't even sure if you'd ever be able to make it through. And yet, somehow, here you are on the other side. What was it about that situation that, one, made it so difficult? And more importantly, what were the tools? What was the mindset? What was it about you in that situation that allowed for you to come out on the other side? What was it? And how is that something that potentially you've had with you your entire life? Something that you didn't even realize that you were cultivating, that in that moment meant everything. I'm going to give a quick example. So you may remember, goodness gracious, I feel like I'm going to date myself. I feel like this was about 10, 15 years ago. There was an event where there was a plane that landed in New York on the river, right? And when it was landing on the Hudson River, it was just, wait, how in the world does a plane land on the Hudson River? No one was harmed. Everyone survived. That could have easily been a horrible plane crash. Okay. That was Captain Sully, who was the captain of that plane. And for the longest time afterwards, people were going, oh my goodness, how in the world was he able to do that? We would have totally expected that there would have been a crash. It would have been super tragic. And this would have been another thing to hit New York. Oh my goodness. Here's the thing. A little known fact about Captain Sully was that he didn't start off in planes. He started off flying gliders. Yeah, gliders. If you're familiar with what a glider is, or if you're not familiar with what a glider is, rather, a glider is when you have a fixed winged object and you learn how to ride wind currents and you learn how to flow through the air without the use of an engine, which was exactly what happened to that plane. So, in that moment, when he had this plane, knowing how many people were on board, where they were situated, glider mindset kicked in. And the thing that he'd loved to do and had been doing for years, I think even since he was a kid, kicked in and allowed for him to be the person that brought hundreds of people to safety. You could go, well, I mean, that was just happenstance. No, that was what set him apart in that moment. He was right there for those families, for that city, if you will, for that moment, for us to realize that each and every one of us has a special gift, something that we're drawn to, that when the time is most dire and most critical, it can kick in and it can transform a situation. The same is true for you. So, may not necessarily make the news, whatever it is, but know that you are here for a reason. It's so vital for you to find out what it is that sets you apart because you are here for this season and this time with a purpose. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your day. I am so eager to see what it is that you find as you're answering those two questions of that moment of just high wonderfulness and what set it apart for you and why it was so special and how it was that you made it through that lowest valley moment. They're going to tell you something about yourself. All right, I'll talk to you later. Have a great one. Bye.